Alright, taking off the clamps. And it's all glued nice and decent there. I like that. Some folks will go ahead and round this between the two pockets here, which on the other wallet I did. It's another one of those things. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. So I'm going to go ahead and punch that hole in the center here. And then we can just go along and punch the rest of them. Alright, now we're done with our chisels. Get them out of the way, done with that. I'm going to go ahead and measure off my thread, and as a normal routine I'll do about 4 times the length I need. So there's 1, that's twice, and there's 4. Not real fussy about the length, but as I said, I want to start up here, but since I forgot to do that on the other side, I'm going to start down here, which in a way works out easy because it'll hold that nice and tight down in the bottom there. It'll take a few stitches before it'll stay tight, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and get that stitched, get this stitched all the way around, and then I'll be back to show you a few more things. Thought I'd show you how I end this. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to clip it down. I'm laying my scissors flat. Leaves just a 1/16 of an inch of the thread sitting up. So with that little bit sticking out, I can take my lighter and using the blue part of the flame. You don't want to, if you use the yellow part, you're going to melt stuff. And you can melt that down. You don't get the dark black. If you use the yellow part of your flame, the top part of your flame, you're going to get black stuff showing up there really bad. So there's our wallet. All we have left to do is clean it up and burnish it. I'm going to tap down my stitching here. And stitching looks good on the outside, looks good on the inside. So we're ready to do a little finishing here. I'm going to start with one of these, and I'm going to look for the high spots, and there aren't any there. That's pretty good. A little bit here. That's better there. There's just a little bit down here. So that's all I had to trim. When you follow your pattern and you try to do a good job of it, it works out. I'm just going to take a little rounding to the corners down here. And just make sure you hold your blade straight up. And we'll clean that up more sanding. I'm just going to take this on my sander because it's a little quicker. It's just a Harbor Freight 1x30 sander, but it works great for this kind of stuff. I made sure the bed was leveled out and stuff so I can get a good sanding on it. So I'll be right back. That only took a couple seconds. So we'll get some of this stuff out of my way, just so it can be a little more efficient. Now I'm going to dye burnish this. I need to make a little sleeve for these knives. But first I need to go around and bevel, which I'll do with the number 0 craft tool. Now when you bevel, you're not going to get in real tight up here. You'll have to do some of that with the sander. Get our trimmings thrown. And at this point, I'm going to give it a quick burnish. We're going to dye burnish. I always shake this up because sometimes the dye stuff will settle. So I always shake it. I'm just doing one section at a time, whatever I feel comfortable with, and I suggest you do the same. And this is just a first burnish because I just sanded it, so. Now, it's not taking on that nice shine that we strive for, but I promise you by the third sanding, it's going to look like this, and it's going to be nice and smooth, and you'll hardly be able to tell there's more than one layer of leather. There's actually 3 layers here, so it will come out nice. But I've done a burnishing video, so you know how the burnishing goes. I will do it 3 times, sanding in between. I just sand with 220. A lot of people say you got to go down to like a 600 grit, and I haven't found a reason for doing that yet. But maybe they're right. Everybody has their own way. I'm going to go finish burnishing this for the first burnish, and I'll show you a little bit along the way about the sanding and stuff and why we sand. So I'm looking in a viewfinder, so I don't know what you're going to see in here. It might get blurry the closer I get, but you can see there's some flaws in that edge work, and there really isn't much you can do about it except sand. The bottom looks pretty good all the way across, but on the ends it needs a little sanding. And I'll just do the 220, and it will show you where your low spots are just by giving it a little A little buff over. Not really putting a lot of pressure on it. I want to find out where my low spots are that I need to pay attention to. I'll just kind of wipe off the dust. And you can see the darker spots, and if you sand a little more you'll see them even better. The darker spots are low, so we want to try to even everything up. There's a lot of ways you can do this. Now if you want to use a Dremel or the belt sander, that's fine. That's up to you. I prefer to do it by hand because then I can actually really get a feel for it and what it looks like. And just when you think you got them all the low spots taken care of, that's when I go and burnish a second time. I already know they're not all taken care of, but usually the second time the sanding is really light and there's just not much to it. I'm just trying to go over the corner a little bit. And this is where that spot that I couldn't get with my beveler, I'm going to go in and sand that a little extra. There. We've still got some low spots here. Sometimes when you're dealing with a big flat area like this, I'll take and I'll wrap the sandpaper around my bone folder. That'll give me a good hard back to go against. To go around the end here, I'm going to go ahead and fold it, just because it'll bring a little strength to it. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll do this end so you can see what the second burnish is going to look like. And I kind of like to leave it soak in good. And you'll notice that it doesn't look wet once it's soaked in. I'm going to start real light. And as I burnish, I gradually apply a little more pressure each time. And I know, I've said, it's not about the pressure, it's about generating that heat, the friction, which it totally is. A little bit of pressure though helps gain even more heat. And you can see the difference. The bottom one is burnished twice. The top is only burnished once. Comes out a lot nicer just the second time. And there's still some flaws in there that I can see. Third time, you won't ever see them. So, I'm going to continue burnishing. I'll do that one once more on that side, and the other side I'll get it twice more, but I'll get it done and I'll show you the finished results. There we go, folks, all done. In the corner where it bends, you're never going to get that to burnish real well, and even if you do, it's going to go to heck anyway just from bending all the time. But the edges turned out real nice. And now I will take a bunch of these credit cards that come from those credit card companies that always say, hey, take our card. They used to send out something that was just about a credit card. Nice hard plastic ones. I just saved a bunch of them. And I got enough credit cards. I don't need any more. And I don't care how special your credit card is. I don't need it. And they all, you know, there's enough room to get in here and grab them and pull them out. So there you go. I will put a weight on here, and you can see already on the top where it's starting to get goofy there. You can go over this, give it a light buffing with some sandpaper, and go over it with some edge paint. I've done that before. It works out pretty well. The edge paint is really good, strong, durable stuff. But these edges will hold up really well. I didn't do that on my personal wallet, and it's held up great for several years now. Many years, about 8 or 9 years that I've had that wallet, that I've been using this pattern. So I'll just stick my weight on here. Just like that. And it can sit tonight. I'm going to go in and eat my dinner and try to finish my editing on this video. So there. We'll talk to you later. Y'all stay safe and God bless. And if you want this pattern, go to my About page. My email address should be there. Send me your address. And or I can email. It's a PDF, so I can email it right to you.